Hi, my name is Scott Stogner. I teach at Chapin High School in Chapin, South Carolina. It's in Lexington Richland School District number 5. We're located just outside of Columbia. I teach ninth grade, World Geography Honors, and in the past I've taught just about every social studies subject. I've been teaching for 24 years now and been around a lot. But my experience in leadership is quite diverse. In 2013, I was appointed our SAIL coordinator, and that stands for Success Acquired in Learning. And that was for our at risk kids, academically at risk kids. My responsibilities, and it became an administrative role, and my responsibilities included identifying them in the eighth grade before they got to the ninth grade, placing them in certain classes that understood what we were getting as far as academics were concerned with these students, and tracking them basically through their each semester and all through their high school career. And we would provide for them services to help them progress and to bring up their deficiencies in academics. Most of the time, it was in reading. So we really focused on reading. And I did that for 6 years. And unfortunately, with our population growing and money and such, our district, we just couldn't get enough FTEs. And so they had to go back into the classroom. But I still continue and I teach in it. We just kind of modified the program with no real director anymore. But we really focus on improving those students' ability to read. Which will then correspond to helping them in just about all their other courses. I also run an after-school tutoring program, which I've been doing since 2013, and it's called EAS, Evening Acceleration School. And what this is for kids who are just struggling in courses. They don't have to be the at-risk kids. They can be any honors, AP level, whatever. And through the years, we've modified it. I've modified it instead of having one or two teachers in there, and it's mostly math. I got the idea to expand this and use our top students as peer tutors, and it has absolutely done amazing things for us, and the students receiving the help. And we've expanded that. I go out in the community. We raise money to afford to pay the tutors because we actually pay our student peer tutors, and we have organizations within our city, the Women's Club and Junior Women's Club. They provide funds and they provide food for the kids, and I write grants and so forth, and to fund the program. And it has really benefited just about every student who attends that regularly has always come in with a close to failing, if not failing grade, and have always left with C's and B's, and it's really helped them. Also, I was in charge of a program called Recapture, and that's what we put in place here in District 5 for students who miss too many days in the classroom to make up seat time. And basically, I would track the number of absences. I would run programs and such and reports and see how many, a student is how many over in the allotted absences, and would note that and contact them. We would set up certain dates on Saturdays where these students would have to come and make up the seat time, and that include paying for it and the note and making notes about it and making sure that those absences were taken care of on their record. I was also in charge of what is called SAT, Student Assistant Team. And this is a thing in place in Chapin High School where parents, mostly teachers, would raise concerns about their student or their child, whether it's academically or other, and they would come to me and we would bring up in front of a committee of myself, school psychologist, an assistant principal, usually the 504 coordinator, one or more of their teachers, the student and the parent, or at least the parent, and we would hear the problems that were put forth, and we would try to come up with a solution, whether that was an academic route or others. And so we would put those plans in place, and I would email that students' teachers and say, here, this is what we're going to do, and let's give this a shot, and let me know other. And that was pretty unique. You heard a lot of different varying stories about why kids need help. Um, and also, as I'm sitting here this summer, I have been the summer school coordinator for a number of years here at Chapin High School. And we have a magnet school called Spring Hill High School, and we have those kids as well. I set up the teachers, I set up the courses, I make sure that their grades are done correctly and that they get credit for it, and I control, you know, the money coming in, the payment, the receiving process, and make sure that the kids get done and they get done in a timely manner. And we really focus on the few seniors we have so that they can have summer school graduation and they can experience that. Them and their families can experience that. Um, Also, and lastly, I'm the defensive coordinator for a football team. I've been a defensive coordinator for about 17 years now. So that's a lot of responsibility, a lot of work, especially here. But it's a fun job. I do enjoy that, and that in itself is a leadership role because I'm not only leading my coaches but an entire unit. So now, why would I want to be an administrator? Well, doing all of those things I just mentioned, let me see the other side of the desk, so to speak. Not from the teacher perspective, but from the administrative perspective. Those are administrative roles here. Um, it's considered administrator, but not an assistant principal or even an administrative assistant, which we do not have here yet. Um, but I sat in on all the meetings. I sat in on every discussion about just about everything. I dealt with discipline over and over again. I didn't issue the discipline per se, but I helped investigate. I helped searches. I helped finding students and everything in between. Um, Going and retrieving students out of classes that are being disruptive, taking notes, taking statements from students about situations. And one of the other things I did fail to mention, I was also an administrator on our I Am We, which is a club. It's an app, really. But years ago, we brought this up, and this app, I Am We, is on every Chromebook that we issue to students, and it's on our district and school websites where kids can report. It started off as report bullying, and I would investigate. I would be the initial investigator, so to speak, of every report. And so it evolved from not just bullying per se, but you know, I have a friend that lives at this kind of house and they don't have electricity, to everything from minor things to actual bullying things to, hey, I saw so and so with, a bag of marijuana in the parking lot trying to sell it to people. To we would have to get law enforcement obviously involved, DSS, Department of Social Services here in South Carolina involved, to just bringing the kid in and talking to them and everything in between. So that was another role that I had. But seeing all of that, I see how important administration is for school to function on a day-to-day basis. Uh, as a teacher, I never knew these kinds of things took place behind the scenes. And now that I see that, and I worked very, very hard uh, to help as much as I could, and I would like to continue that in a role as an administrator. And that's why I'm pursuing this. Um, Other information about myself is my wife's an elementary school teacher. She's taught kindergarten for 20 some odd years, and this past year she taught first grade for the first time and loved it. And I have a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old who are actively involved in sports. And my brother's a retired teacher and a coach. My sister-in-law is a teacher. My wife's brother, my brother-in-law on that side, is a head baseball coach and a teacher. And so education and athletics is all around and has all been around my family. Um, and I would just like to continue that as an administrator and see how I can make a difference and help in that capacity. Thank you.